Gun legislation has been filed in Congress, and really all it does is go to reinforce current laws already on the books. Hey everybody, I'm Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. Thursday evening, I will actually be a part of a panel discussion taking a look at guns on campus, guns in America, guns in the state of Texas, and on the Friday edition of the show, I'll talk about what all was discussed and some of the opinions that were shared, and I appreciate the folks over at Polytech, over at Texas Tech University for inviting me to be on that panel. Taking a look at what's going on in Congress, Senator John Cornyn getting together. It's a bipartisan piece of legislation that's been filed, along with Senators Chris Murphy, who is kind of way out there when it comes to gun control. He's a Democrat out of Connecticut. Also, Senator Richard Blumenthal is part of this. He's another Democrat from Connecticut, and I believe Republican Tim Scott is of South Carolina is part of this as well. And this legislation that has been filed would simply go and reinforce background checks and make sure that states and agencies are reporting different things that need to be reported to the federal database for those background checks. Let me read from the Washington Post. The senators coming together, they're expected to pull more Republican support for their measure before formally releasing it. So I guess it hasn't been filed yet, but it's pretty close. The bill is narrow in its focus, according to the Post, reiterating and reinforcing the requirement that federal agencies report all infractions to the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, the NICS, and they also want to create financial incentives for states to do so as well. They would actually be creating incentives for states to do what they should be doing already. The deficiencies, reading from the Post here, the deficiencies of the NICS database have come into sharp focus since it was revealed that a 2014 domestic violence conviction should have prevented the shooter in this month's fatal attack on a church in Sutherland Springs, Texas, from buying a firearm. But the Air Force never reported that conviction to the background check system. The problem isn't just confined to the military, according to the Post, though, and according to the NRA. The NICS database is missing millions and millions of such records, according to an estimate by the NRA, citing a 2013 report from the National Consortium for Justice, Information, and Statistics, found that at least 25% of felony convictions are not available to that federal database. Quote, what our bill does is attempts to fix that both the federal level and provide additional incentives to local states. It may just be as simple as getting them to do what they are already required to do. So the bill would basically tell states and federal agencies, hey, you guys really do need to get on the ball in reporting all of this. It's incumbent that you do so. Hopefully we'll save some more lives. I want to continue taking a look at this. Call me crazy if you want to, but anytime Chris Murphy puts his name on any type of gun measure, I want to look at it, make sure that it doesn't go too far or anything. But if this is just reinforcing and getting all agencies and states on the same page and saying, seriously, guys, we need to submit this data to the background check system. It's not a bad idea at all. It needs to be done, and as responsible gun owners, we should want that information being put into the federal database. I would caution people on this, though. This can pass, and yeah, we can reinforce this need to have states and agencies report to the federal database. But don't think that this is going to solve everything in the world. It's not. I happen to believe that even if this shooter in Texas would have been prevented from buying a gun, he would have found a way to purchase one. Remember, in states and in areas of the country where they have strict gun laws, where it's very hard to purchase a weapon, gangbangers and thugs and drug dealers and those who are just bad people are still able to find a gun. They purchase it illegally. They find other people to buy it for them. So this is not a 100% problem-solving bill, but it does go a long way in making sure that those who are legally able to purchase a gun are able to do so, and those who are not legally able to purchase a weapon are prevented from purchasing that weapon. If that's how it turns out the final product is, I don't think a lot of people will have a problem with it. I don't think the NRA will have a problem with it. This is the type of common sense gun legislation. You know, the left likes to throw around common sense gun legislation when it's not common sense. This is the type of stuff that makes sense because we're shoring up some of the deficiencies that are within the system. When the military, when the Air Force, whoever it may be, is not reporting everything that they should be reporting to this background check database, we need to come up with a solution. Maybe Senator Cornyn and them have come up with a solution. We'll wait and see what the official bill looks like and what the language actually says. But before I sign off, and I think before a lot of gun owners sign off on something like this, we want to make sure that those on the left didn't sneak something extra into the piece of legislation. Just me, I don't trust those on the left when it comes to gun legislation. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time. News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO. Follow me on Twitter, Chad Hasty Radio. Have a great day.